JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Hi guys. Before we go into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and to share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Sentan man, suspect in killing of girlfriend, dies in hospital. The man, who was a suspect in the killing of his girlfriend, 44-year-old Kamika Haley, in Charlestown, Sentan last month, died on Thursday in hospital. Kevin Shirley, a 36-year-old construction worker, was admitted to the Kingston Public Hospital after he consumed a chemical substance in an attempt to end his life. It was reported that on January 29, 2 days after Haley was found dead, Shirley went to Higgins Land in the Alexander area and jumped into a tank after drinking the substance. He was taken from the tank by the police and taken to the Sentans Bay Regional Hospital and later transferred to KPH. Haley, an attendant at Sentans Bay Regional Hospital, was found dead inside her home on January 27. Her body was discovered under a sheet with blood on her nightgown. 2 men wanted for rape, among 13 arrested in Manchester operation. The Manchester police arrested 2 men wanted for sexual offences, including rape in Hanover, during an enhanced security operation on Friday. Operations Officer for Manchester, Deputy Superintendent Colin Johnson, said the men were among 13 people arrested during the operation across Manchester. We launch our operations initiatives, enhance security measures, inclusive of our quick response team, Jamaica Defence Force, and other police in the parish of Manchester. We conducted a number of activities, including roadblocks, said Johnson. We have a number of persons on our wanted list, persons of interest and violence producers. We are targeting them. We realized that there are a number of criminals living in other parishes coming into Manchester to commit crimes, he added. He said 12 vehicles, including 9 bikes, and 177 traffic tickets were issued on Friday. There are a number of bikes being used to commit crimes such as robbery, shooting, and murders. A number of these bikes are not licensed. For the year 2023, we seized over 127 motorbikes, he said. We also targeted defective vehicles and our operations continue around Prida larceny, added Johnson. 3rd cop arrested in connection with killing at Otria's fast food restaurant. A 3rd policeman has been arrested in connection with the shooting death of a man at a fast food restaurant in Otria's, Sentan last weekend, law enforcement sources disclosed. The constable, who is based in Trelawney, reportedly surrendered to the police in St. James today in the presence of his attorney. He is expected to be interviewed by detectives from St. Anne. Sources disclosed, too, that 2 other cops arrested in connection with the killing, both constables, assigned to the St. James Police Division, were pointed out during separate identification parades conducted on Friday. They remained in custody on Saturday and are expected to face criminal charges, though a parish judge in Trelawney, where they are being held, ordered on Thursday that they should be released by 4 p.m. on Friday if they were not charged with any crime, according to Attorney Donovan Collins, who represents one of the cops. Attorney-at-law Michael Hemmings represents the other cop. What I find very troubling is that the men have been in custody without charge for approximately 168 hours. It is clear that the order of the judge has not been complied with, Collins said on Saturday. He declined to comment on the outcome of the identification parades. According to police sources, one of the 5 civilians also arrested in connection with the killing was pointed out during an identification parade on Friday. All 5 remained in police custody on Saturday, Collins confirmed. The attorney reported that one of the civilians has not faced an identification parade and has not been charged with a crime, so his rights are clearly being violated. This is a clear breach of Section 51A of the Bail Act of 2023, which gives the police the authority to grant bail if the investigations are incomplete, Collins said. It supported that the still unidentified man was shot after an argument developed between a group of men near the fast food restaurant about 3:30 a.m. on Saturday. He later died at hospital. Jamaican chef arrested for allegedly stealing cell phone at a restaurant in BVI. A Jamaican chef was recently arrested by the police in the British Virgin Islands for allegedly stealing a cell phone that belonged to a customer who visited the restaurant where he worked. According to police reports, the victim purchased food at the restaurant but later realized that his cell phone was missing. He returned to the restaurant to search for the device but did not find it. It's alleged that the victim then used tracking features to locate the cell phone, and the results revealed that the device was at the restaurant. After being alerted, the police then went to the restaurant and requested CCTV footage from the operators. The footage allegedly showed that the 42-year-old Jamaican chef of the restaurant had removed the cell phone the customer left on the counter. The chef was later arrested and charged with theft. Following this incident and with an increase in theft across the territory, the authorities have urged businesses and residents to install CCTV cameras as they have proven to be a vital resource in fighting crime. 30-year-old mechanic charged with murder of paralegal. A 30-year-old mechanic has been implicated in the murder of Sandra Ren, the paralegal who was shot dead on Washington Boulevard on January 18. Charged with murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition is Ojo Russell, otherwise called Jerry Stunts, of Woodpecker Avenue, Kingston 11. Reports from the Constant Spring Police are that about 7:05 a.m., Risden was driving along the roadway when Russell and another man drove up on a motorcycle and opened gunfire, killing her. An off-duty officer pursued the hitman when Russell pointed the gun at him before escaping in the area. Russell was later arrested and subsequently charged after it was pointed out as the man who shot Risden. He is scheduled to appear before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday, February 13. Teen freed of gun charges after police witnesses discredited. 18-year-old footballer Rahim Williams wept openly in the gun court on Thursday when Justice Admiral Lawrence Granger returned a not guilty verdict after police witnesses were discredited during cross-examination at his trial. Williams, who was represented by attorney-at-law Delphine Golden Jenkins, was freed of charges of possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized use of ammunition. The Crown led evidence that Williams was held by the police in March last year while running along West Street in downtown Kingston. The police had reported that they saw men committing a robbery in the early morning, and upon their approach, the men ran in different directions. The teen, who the police claimed was one of the men who allegedly committed the robbery, was accosted while running. A policeman testified that Williams was held while he was trying to hide under a car. The defense counsel was instrumental in getting the DNA report admitted during cross-examination. The report showed that while other DNA results were present on the gun, Williams' DNA was excluded. An intense cross-examination followed after the DNA report was admitted. When questioned by defense counsel as to how the gun got into the waistband of the accused, notwithstanding that his DNA was excluded from the gun, the policeman replied that Williams had put the gun in his waistband. It was also suggested to the witness that if the accused had placed the gun in his waistband, then his DNA would have been found on the gun. Another policeman had testified that the gun was found in the waistband of the accused. The teen, in his defense, said the police did not take any gun from him and was innocent of the charges. In her submissions, Golden Jenkins called for the judge to acquit Williams because the police officers had said in their written statements that the gun was taken from her client while he was running, but in court gave a different version. She also argued that the evidence given by the police officers as to what happened on the day of the incident was not credible. She submitted in closing that to ignore the DNA evidence meant the Crown would have had to produce evidence to show whether DNA evidence should be ignored, but the Crown did not. Golden Jenkins said the teen, who plays for his school's the Costa Cup football team, is happy to be cleared of the charges because he's aware that if convicted, he would be facing 15 years in prison. She says he is now in school, pursuing Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC studies. Merlin ATI High School gets piped water after a 34-year wait. Residents of Pondside and the surrounding communities are breathing a sigh of relief following the commissioning of the Cascade Phase 2 potable water supply system. The $150 million project, from part of a wider $600 million development, started in 2013. Supply from the Great River Water Treatment Plant in Hanover is pumped up to a reservoir in Claremont, gravity-fed to another reservoir in Cascade, and then gravity-fed to surrounding areas. Among the communities that have already benefited or are slated to do so are Cascade, Jericho, Mount Peace, Patty Hill, Shortfield, Hannahtown, Bullertown, Retrieve, Claremont, and Pondside. Dean of Discipline for Merlin ATI High School, Dan Foster Wright, said that she felt joy after seeing potable water at the school's gate for the first time in more than 34 years. Foster Wright said she was doing a patrol on the school's compound when she saw two men from the National Water Commission NWC who said they were doing final work to get supply to the school. And then the gentleman turned a knob at the pipe there, and we heard swoosh, shum, and the force of water, and we said yes! And the students and the principal come out and we had a jolly water party up here at the water, said Foster Wright. According to a joyful Member of Parliament for Hanover Eastern, Dave Brown, of the Jamaica Labour Party, the project had ended without the high school and the nearby Pondside Primary School being factored in to be connected to the newly established main, which ended in the Pondside Square. So we had to go back to the drawing board and do some serious work, and I'm so happy that water eventually got to this community, stated Brown. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation with responsibility for water, environment, climate change, Matthew Samuda, was on hand for the commissioning. He told the gathering of teachers, students, and other residents who were on hand for the ceremony held at the Merlin ATI High School on Wednesday that Prime Minister Andrew Holness, upon hearing that the school had initially not been included, insisted that the issue be addressed. I want to thank the Prime Minister for signing off on the funds that were needed to invest into this community. And I want to thank you all, not for your patience, but for holding us all accountable to ensure that the work is done, because we are in a race against time, stated the Minister, who pointed out that the government is in a race to achieve the 2030 vision. Acting President of the NWC, Kevin Carr, called on students to be agents of the entity by reminding their parents to pay their bills, which in turn will assist the company to make investments in projects such as the one commissioned on Wednesday. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.